This is KarsaKKWx. Karsa's my name. KKWX is my empire. Here today with Nexus Roundtable as we play our new game, Delta Green, The Faults of Man, run by our GM, Cormac. Let's get into it.
Everybody's gonna go insane and or die.
No!
Or both.
Oh God.
You could die and then go insane.
I don't want to die.
Or go insane first and then you die.
Well, that's possible. Yay, we're gonna go insane. Yay. As if we aren't already.
Might be sane, I might not be. Based on my character, I can't tell you.
Well.
Alright. So, we open in a darkened room with a bunch of people sitting in chairs, basically watching a presentation being given by a man in his mid-40s with sandy brown hair, not quite chiseled features, not quite soft features, kind of in between, with color brown. Why that word? With green brown eyes, wearing a fancy enough suit, but he's clearly looked like he's been working a lot. The sleeves are rolled up, the shirt and pants are rumpled. Despite that, most of you are still pretty sure that the tie alone would cover your rent for a year, or your mortgage for a year, either way.
That's an expensive tie.
That is expensive.
This is Ross Hendrix, the... I don't really have a title for him. The billionaire. Yeah, that's really all anybody knows about him. It's just this guy kind of just showed up one day. He's not really an entrepreneur. He's not really a philanthropist. He is just a really rich dude. Kind of like that Virgin Mobile guy who kind of just started doing stuff.
You could always just call him the wealthy baron.
Maybe. Some people might call him that. And honestly, most people don't even know how he got his money. He never explained it. Ever. But Ross Hendrix is up there explaining a expedition that he is funding and that all of you have been handpicked and accepted the job for. He goes on. So basically what we're doing is we're gonna go find a ship. A lost ship that has been, as far as I can tell, drifting at sea for the past 70-ish years. It's called the Pride's Fall. It left Portland, Maine, 1954. Went missing in 1954. It's a maiden voyage. It was carrying a passenger complement of 1,241 and a crew complement of 560. None of them were ever heard from again. Keep track, that's 1,801 souls. Now, I'm pretty sure that it never went down. Some people have been looking for it for decades. Not quite as famous as, say, Lusitania, the Titanic, or any of those. There's just been a couple of, some people like to call them, eccentric people that like looking for shipwrecks. But supposedly, they knew its route, they've checked the currents, done sonar research, sent divers, haven't found any wreck. That's because I don't think it wrecked at all. I think something happened to all the people on board, and the ship has been drifting for these 70 years. So much so to the point that I believe, by looking through currents and weather changes and storms, that I think I've found its drift pattern, and I think I need one more piece. And if we get that, I think we can get that ship. And if we get that ship, we can bring it back, and all of you will be mildly famous and more than moderately rich. Step one is we have to go to a radio relay station on an island off off the southwest coast of Greenland called Husvik. This radio relay station was set up so that ships at sea have a point of contact for radios that wasn't the mainland. Basically, you would call them and they would send out any messages that you needed to be sent to the mainland or other ships. The short version was to extend communication ranges. Now, with the modern development of telecommunications technologies, not necessary anymore. It was decommissioned in the early 90s. But I found evidence that the Pride's Fall had contacted the Husvik relay station before it was considered disappeared. Step 1, we're going to head there, find the communication, and see if we can use that to help triangulate. For that, we're going to go take a bunch of advanced equipment, take what we learned there, and, find it. Now, granted, your contracts are only for about 6 months. So if we don't find it in 6 months, we can revisit you guys staying on and continuing the search, but if we don't find it in 6 months, probably not going to find it. There's a decent chance it fell in some crevice that closed due to tectonic activity or volcanic activity. We'll never find it. Or, it got eaten up by some Bermuda Triangle-esque portal. But anyway, after we find it, assuming we find it, we're gonna get aboard, see if it can be fixed enough to limp to a port. If not, well, then the ship we're bringing with can tug it. I'd rather not do that, as there's a chance that the ship I'm bringing won't be enough to tug it. It should, might not be. But after we get it to port, then you guys get the rest of your money. You guys go on. Your names will be attached to finding this famous lost ship, and maybe you'll be remembered for the next 10 years. I mean, you'll be immortalized on Wikipedia, I guess. But oh right, as like you see a guy who's dressed basically all in black. No, Angela's not your character. Starts to raise his hand. He's like, right, pirates. Husvik has been rumored to have a small pirate band staying there and using it as a base of operations for their piracy. This is why I've hired a security team. And obviously some of you who are not on the security team also have had combat training and experience. Be useful. But not all of you. Beyond that, are there any questions before I let you all do a meet and greet? That's your cue.
Got any questions? Kind of like a better briefing than what I'm used to getting.
Honestly, I'm more used to getting told to do stuff and just going along with it.
Normally,
You'll probably fit right in.
Normally, I'm just basically have people sent to the trauma room, and I have to do whatever it is. Well, I don't normally get that.
Because right now it sounds like we're looking for either a new Mary Celeste, or I don't know, as you mentioned, potentially a Bermuda Triangle-esque portal.
Oh, I hope it's not the portal, because we'll never make it back.
Then we'll be on the disappearing MIAs.
Yeah. Oh, right. The ship we're taking is a completely built from the ground up modern ship. It'll have all the, well, not amenities, wrong word, equipment that you guys will need, hopefully, to do the job. And the ship will be called the Will to Power. And that's basically where you guys will be living for the next 6-ish months.
Am I going to be working with acid burns?
I hope not. What would you be using acid for?
No. If something, like, maybe there's something wrong with that other ship.
Or something that may be corrosive.
Corrosive.
Why a passenger ship would have acid on it?
Well, maybe not the corrosive type of acid. but
Like a
What?
chemical, like
Acid
a
and-
chemical, like a chemical that
and-
was right there or something.
Isn't acid defined by its property of being corrosive?
Yes.
I mean the drug.
Or it could be like a cleaning product that's way
Oh.
past its expiration date, and that's causing extra. Could cause extra effects attached to it.
I mean, if that had happened, it had already burned through the ship. It isn't a problem.
All right.
I'm not expecting any corrosive materials. The cleaning components they would have used back then would have either denatured or exploded by now. Yeah, this is what working in the private sector, freelance, deals with. Also, the private sector pays more. As noted by the, you guys remember your contracts. Each one of you is probably getting paid around $3 million for this.
Which is why I would have taken the job.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking around. Nobody took this job out of enthusiasm. Everybody took it for the money.
Definitely.
Probably except me, because if anything, the money would have been like, oh, cool, I can finally replace my tools.
If you need $3 million to replace your tools, you have bigger issues. Called loan sharks.
Indeed.
Those tools better be plated in gold at that point.
No, if they're plated in gold, they're useless.
No, it's like those kind of tools that you find at boat docks a lot of times, the ones that you tend to burn through the most commonly.
Will I be having any medical assistance?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
there will be an entire medical team. Note, everybody in this room has already signed on and accepted, although this is your last chance to back out. The upfront payment you got for simply showing up to listen to the briefing, you get to keep, even if you decide not to take the job now. All of you know, you guys everybody got paid $100K to show up to listen to this man.
Thank you.
Damn.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Now, that is part of the $3 million if you decide to keep going, so technically what you'd be making is 2.9 at the end of the job.
Well, right.
No, the 100 is just the appetizer, just to see if you'll bite.
Yeah, pretty much.
I bit and I chewed.
Yeah, but all of you know that you look around and there are roughly 50 people, well,
Mhm.
51 counting him. And if he paid each one of them $100K, means this man shelled out, what was that, 5 million?
5
No.
million. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no. Yeah, it's 5 million.
Yeah, 5 million just that people show up and listen to him. And you know, based on what you've read in Forbes or Fortune 500, or well, not Fortune 500, that's not a magazine. Forbes.
Wherever.
Yeah.
Source here.
Yeah, that 5 million, that dude probably just made that in the time he was talking to you. I suppose if there aren't any other questions, it means my briefing was more on point than I thought. So, you guys take a few minutes. Yeah, we'll call it an hour. Get to know each other. We got coffee and donuts. Yeah, coffee and donuts.
Donuts. Definitely a good
Back.
start.
Know each other. Oh, right. There are basically 5 teams. Departments. Teams. There's a security team, the command team, which, yes, they're called command, the air quotes command, but really they're just the ones that are in charge of making sure the ship is sailing correctly and gets to where we need it to go. They can't actually tell most of you what to do. I mean, they can in an emergency situation, but not in the daily thing.
They're more of a,
Medical team, engineering team, and one I don't really have a name for except for information team, I guess. The ones that are going to be dealing with, like, running the sonars, dealing with the ocean waves, doing all that. The math team! There we go.
Math team, okay.
Well, I was gonna call them the smart team, but that seems kind of saying to the rest of you.
Now, out of character, the four of us, are we part of one team or are we part of four different teams?
In 4 different teams. Because Grover, you know that if you join, you'll be part of the command team.
Makes sense.
Piloting
boat.
Yep. Max, you'll be part of the security team.
Makes sense.
Knu Kni, correct pronunciation?
It's Knu Kni, but I just tell people to call me KK.
All right. KK, you'll be part of the engineering team.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Payne, you'll be in the medical team.
Yep.
Yeah, none of you in the smart/math team.
Yeah, and if you're wanting for the math team there, if you want, you could just call them the telecommunications.
Oh, comms team. Yeah, that's a good one.
There we go.
Because at that point
team.
there, it falls under a lot of that stuff under.
Yeah. All right, extra donut for that one.
Oh.
Oh, here, just go ahead and give my donut to the medical team there. At that point there, I choose bagels because at that point it allows me to keep my strength.
Yeah, bagels too. Extra bagel for that one.
Nah, I'll have the donut. The coffee.
Yeah, give it to the medical team for me.
Yeah, he says extra bagel as if there's not just giant stacks in the back.
Yeah.
Like, oh, everybody gets one. No, there's like, there is enough that you're pretty sure a lot of these are gonna get, hopefully, taken down to like a soup kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
You come back into the canteen, you see just one stack of the bagels gone. You just look in the engineering deck, you just see a stack sitting on their table.
I'm sure we are gonna eventually have MREs, because...
That's probably what...
Oh god, no, what's wrong with you?
No MREs?
No. No.
What's wrong with MREs, especially the vegetarian based meals?
The entire security team and half the command team looks at you and you say, what's wrong with MREs?
What's wrong with MREs? It would be shorter to make a list of what isn't wrong.
Will
This is somebody who has subsisted on them.
It's better than the forbidden tuna can.
Then I guess we're gonna be getting drops then after a few days, because things do tend to mold.
No.
Well, it depends on what you bring in there. If it's canned items, yeah, I don't think they're gonna mold after 3 days.
Okay, wait. He goes over to his computer, types something in, brings up some pictures. And he brings up a picture of the Will to Power. This ship, probably a good 500 feet long and has 5 decks. And there's 50 of you. You're looking at it, you're like, never mind, I see.
Okay.
Yeah. I spared no expense.
Wow.
And me, I'm just saying. I'm saying on my side here, he's like, it looks like I got my work cut out for me. If I have to run literally across, I have to run a marathon.
Huh? Oh, no. I mean, for an emergency situation, sure, but for an emergency situation, I highly doubt the engineering team is going to be going too far. Anyway, but there's nothing else. He like pull on his sleeves or roll. If he looks at his watch, I got a phone call I got to make.
Okay.
Wait, nobody else did it. All right.
Oh,
He stopped. Yes.
guess we should figure out who the heads of the teams are and get to know each other.
Yeah. So the first thing that happens after the meet and greet, when most of the people have gone scattered for coffee and whatnot, 3 people, you see 2 women and a man, move up to a much older gentleman, probably the oldest one in the room. That is a Grover Manning. Would you please go ahead and describe what your old man looks like?
Grover Manning is an elderly individual currently wearing a black cap with short bright stubble on his face, paired with a hefty jacket that's buttoned up and blue jeans. Hanging from his mouth is a lit cigarette as his misty blue eyes survey the crowds approaching him.
So the 2 women that you see in front of you are dressed in the the 3 that are approaching you are probably the most formally dressed. in that they seem to be wearing uniforms. The two women are wearing a white, clearly from the command team. The gentleman is wearing black. He was the one that went to raise his hand before for Mr. Hendrix was talking about the pirates. All three of them stop and salute at you.
Grover will nod. I appreciate the gesture, but that won't be necessary here.
And all three of them will drop the salute, and the first woman in the white uniform, she will step forward. Well, I'm the captain of this expedition. I am Captain Francine Bell, and all three of us have had the privilege of reading through your service record, and we felt it was, at a minimum, necessary to show respect for your storied career, Commander.
Appreciated. Looking forward to working with you all.
Same. The gentleman steps up, a dark-skinned man. I am... somebody who doesn't know how to talk, apparently. I am Security Chief Nawali. I'm heading up the security team. This man is tall, unnecessarily tall, probably around 6'10".
In another life, this man played basketball for a living.
I mean, you think that, and then you're like, wait, nope, he's the width of a fridge.
In another life, this man played football for a living.
Yeah, yeah. Funnily enough, the military was better on his knees.
I believe it.
Yeah. But aside from his height and musculature, not a lot stands out about this man. He's clean-shaven, bald head, numerous scars. Those would stand out. This man has clearly done his time, done a lot of tours, seen a lot of combat. It is unfortunate that you won't be working under my team, but I still decided it would be best for me to meet you.
Well, it's good to meet you as well. Our safety's in your hands.
Well, if something breaks out, I would imagine you would pick up a gun and do your part as well.
Of course.
But
Hopefully that won't be necessary, but
yes,
we'll see how far idle hopes get.
Yes, I would like to get paid to basically spend 6 months on a boat doing nothing, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just wanted to come over and say greetings. I must go find the rest of my team. Looks over at two who have decided to take about 10 donuts between the two of them. And remind them that sugar brings ants. He stalks over to the table to get on two of them. But the two women in front of you, the second one, who introduces herself as First Mate Maria Fuentes. She is a shorter woman, probably around the size of about 5'6". Tan skin, black hair, green eyes, perfectly manicured nails, not kept too long, not kept too short. Probably seems more uptight than the captain does, which, as you know from your storied career, tends to be the case when it comes to first mate and captain.
Makes sense. I am also a sterling example of not being too serious outwardly.
Yeah. Captain Francine Bell is a woman on the taller side, around 5'11", blonde hair, blue-eyed. Was probably very pale in her earlier days, but since being a ship and navy captain, has picked up a slight tan. But she does keep decorum, but not to the iron rod stiffness that the first mate does. But they will introduce themselves, and I will pan over to the medical team.
Right?
Dr. Payne, what does your character look like as a man approaches you wearing it? You don't know why he decided he needed to wear a lab coat and stethoscope to this briefing, but he did.
Oh, the funny thing is, so did she.
Well, and then you look at the rest of the medical team.
Huh.
Yep, nope, checks out. We all did.
You never know when you need it, right? This is Dr. Megan Payne. I have brown hair and kind of a greenish, well, hazel eyes. Tend to wear my white coat, but I also have fatigues as well because I used to be on the medical team in the Navy. So she looks about to be 30, 35. But a little bit decorated. Has been through a few situations that required a medical team to be there. And for her age, she has at least some theses and medical expertise that is well known. So you also see on to the side of her, she does have a firearm, and she does carry it because she knew that there was going to be pirates, so that was going to be a problem. Get her out.
Yeah, you are approached by a Asian gentleman who is balding but keeps his hair still close cropped.
Mm-hmm.
Stands probably around 5'9". Thick glasses, like not quite Coke bottle, but one step away.
Okay.
He talks to you. Yes, you would be Dr. Payne. Yes, you will be under my team. I am Dr. Yuan Chen.
Yuan Chen.
Yeah. Sorry, Yuan Chen.
Yuan.
Y-U-A-N.
Hello, Dr. Yuan Chen.
Yeah, then you go through the whole thing of doctor.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. I am very much looking forward to working with you. I have studied your theses, I have studied your dissertation, and your career in the military was sterling. I think we will get along just fine. Looks at the gun. As long as you don't bring that into the OR.
Well, I only carry it because you never know when there will be pirates.
So, you are in fact the hypocrites of the Hippocratic Oath.
No, I am not. But I do have to worry about the safety of our patients and ourselves, shall we not?
You cannot claim to do no harm if you in fact carry a weapon of harm. But I am not here to debate ethics or the... How do my colleagues put it? Oh, I forget. The necessity of the Hippocratic Oath, I guess.
A more lenient version of it to where only fight back if absolutely necessary.
That is the case. May I ask who are you?
Alright, we're gonna move on to KK, who is now in this conversation.
Who just somehow showed up?
That's fine. I don't care.
Okay.
It just works.
If anything, we could always go off. It's like I was called down here for a quick repair. Something happened, and they needed help with the repair.
I mean, you're all in the same room. You're still in the briefing room.
We're still in the briefing room.
Yeah, go ahead and describe KK.
The name is Knu Kni, but to say in shortened term, I just tell people to call me KK. But I'm a purple-haired female, cat ears, has purple contacts. Was probably holding my magnum in my holster on my side at the time. But otherwise, though, from what I've been told, is I've been brought on due to my engineering expertise. And then we just had the briefing, and that's pretty much all I know up to that point, so.
She looks at KK and asks, "Are you part of the civilian sector?"
I wouldn't know on the civilian side. I was brought on and told that I'd be doing engineering and doing mechanic work. That's all I was told at the time being.
Mhm. Have you had any military experience?
Not that I remember. I know at some point in time I was drafted into something and then I blacked out halfway through it, and and that was about it.
Interesting.
Yeah, hearing that, Dr. Chen cocks their head at KK. Yes. This would be an interesting case study.
If you need a study, then I'm more than to help out with that. But as long as it's either my off time or there's nothing happening on my side, because the only thing that I've known how to do is by the time I turned 12, I was hip deep into just about whatever engine I can get my hands on.
Okay, since I don't know Dr. Chen, I would have had dossiers of the different people that I was working with. What is he a doctor of?
Mostly general practitioner, but also is highly decorated OR surgeon. Which is the main reason he's here. Not like you need a neurosurgeon on a boat or on a ship or something like this.
I mean, you would certainly hope not, anyway.
Yeah. Main field of study is trauma.
Trauma.
Yeah. He's the one you want trying to save your ass after you got shot 3 times.
Now he's in charge?
Yes.
Okay, so I have to...
Although, technically, when it comes to things like this, he is team lead, and how in charge they want to be is up to the individual.
It depends on how much of a power trip they want to pull.
Yeah.
Oh, I already noticed the power trip he has with the hypocrite.
All he did was ask you to not...
This is an observation.
Well, all you asked to do is just not to pull your weapon into an operation.
Oh, he asked her not to bring it into the OR at all. That was it. It wasn't a power trip. It's like, can we please not have the gun in the operating room?
We will not have the gun in the operating room, but I will be safe for the people.
Nobody wants a tonsillectomy performed with a 9mm round.
I mean, it'll take off the tonsil just fine.
Oh, don't I know it.
She has a past of knowing that she had to have a weapon regardless because of the fact that she was on the front lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes the operation's going too well, so you gotta introduce your own complication.
You know,
you gotta hit that quota.
that bullet in your head, or that bullet in your gut's gonna hurt a lot less if I put one in your shin.
I mean, isn't that technically the old method for dealing with that kind of shit? Stomping the football out of tooth?
Anyway.
But Dr. Chen's like, yes, interesting case study. Trauma-based amnesia has always been something people are looking into. Amnesia just in general, trying to force it, well, not forcibly, wrong term. Coax memories back out of somebody. Yes. I'll have to talk to some of my some of my friends in the psychiatry field. Yes. We'll have to talk when this job is done.
I'm fine with that.
Speaking of psychiatry, I have some experience in that.
Yes, I saw. Maybe. No, don't want to interfere with the job. Then maybe we could. And he starts trailing off, thinking about something.
And you can only think, and you can only speculate what it could be.
And is there any other people?
I'm only naming the heads. I'm not coming up with 50 NPC names. It ain't happening.
Okay.
And if you do want the names, then it's just gonna be known as NPC 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth.
No, if
you know nah, you do what they do in the forces. You no longer have a name. You have a number.
No, if it matters in the moment, I'll be like, sure. For whatever reason, this guy is called Fred. What about that guy? Oh, he's also called Fred, and they fight about it.
Hey, what are they? Oh, they're twins. They've always had some weird rivalry because they always think one Fred's better than the other.
Okay.
Problem is, none of them are named Frank. His name is Tim. He's Rob. I don't know why either of them wants to be called Fred.
That's first. That's first Fred. That's proper Fred. That's next Fred.
We got Big Fred, Small Fred,
And just your Fred.
Loud Fred, Quiet Fred.
No one prefers to be called Frederick.
Ah,
But that one
fair.
prefers to be called Freddy.
Yeah. That guy actually is named Fred.
But he goes by Frank.
No, he goes by Jim. I don't know why.
Jim.
And then you
But,
just got the completely ripped guy in the corner covered in weapons.
Yeah, don't ask him his name. Why? The last time somebody did, he pointed a knife at him.
Yeah, and that's what my character looks over at the guy and been like, I like him.
But while Dr. Chen starts spiraling off into his own thoughts, a slight woman, probably only about 5'3", but in a oh god, what are they called? A jumpsuit? No. Yes?
Depends on what you're trying to, what team she's attached to.
A mechanic suit was up and touching KK on the shoulder.
Oh, that would be overalls then, if that's what you're wondering.
No, because it's not just overalls. It's got full-length sleeves and everything. Pretty sure.
So yeah, it would be a jumpsuit. Then.
Jumpsuit / boiler suit.
It would seem we are working together. Well, technically you will be working under me, but I don't take leadership roles too seriously.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever works for me is fine.
I am Dr. Camille Boucher. I am not a doctor like these two. I am a doctor of mechatronics.
You're a doctor of the engineering world.
Yes.
But, I'm Knu, or KK for short.
Ah, very good. Although I don't know why I was hired. I got my doctorate in mechatronics, which is mostly modern technology. I don't know how useful I'll be on a old diesel, but that's sure I'll figure it out.
If anything, if you ever need a hand with anything, or if you need guidance, I know my way around most things at this point. I think mechatronics is probably the only thing I probably don't know too well. So.
Yeah, very good. Honestly, I'm not even sure why I took the job. I saw the price tag I got. Oh, how do you Americans say it? Sticker shock.
Yes.
And next thing I knew, I was in this room. But
yeah, for me, if anything, I saw the price tag. I was like, oh, I could finally replace my tools and upgrade my shop finally, bring it up to the modern times. Remember correctly, my last piece of equipment that I had, my old hammer, or was it mechanical hammer, was still running off of steam.
that seems highly inefficient. Yes, you should get that changed.
But can't knock if it ain't broke.
You just said it was broke.
Well, if anything, it's not really broken. It's more or less the time to bring it up to moderate speed because hell, I don't want to wait 20 minutes to shape one piece of metal.
Have you considered buying a lathe?
No money.
I suppose this job will fix that.
That's kind of why I took the job, if anything.
I am going to go get myself a coffee. Would you like one?
Yeah, sure.
Then we should go this way.
Mhm.
Then we cut over to the people that look like they have a problem just being here because they're bored out of their mind because they don't understand half of what was said. Also, 2 of those donuts are made out of crayons.
Oh no.
Oh, it's the security. Oh, it's the security detail.
Yeah. But we cut over to God, how did I forget your name? Max. Cut over to Max. What does Max look like as Security Chief Nawali is approaching him?
Max is notably fully kitted out. He is 6'2", built like a brick shithouse, as Nav likes to put it, and is wearing, of all things, a ski mask. You can only see his eyes, which are a piercing gray. But they look like they have seen some shit.
Oh.
And like I said, this man is jacked.
And now watch. You look into his medical history. You see how he got so jacked. Something wrapped around, yelling over the microphone at Call of Duty.
I got 157 confirmed kills, or however that fucking thing goes.
Something like that.
You got 170 confirmed kills and 3 deaths.
I'm not gonna question it. Moving on. The security chief walks up to you. I don't think the full battle rattle is necessary, but I appreciate the devotion to the job.
I was hired to potentially shoot shit or hit it very hard. I am going to do that.
In a room half filled with what is the nice way of putting it? Nerds.
I mean, at least one of them is packing.
Oh. You look at the rest of the security team. All of these men have signed on with me. They were under my command in the corporation we are trying to build. The money we are all paying will go a long way in making our dreams a reality.
Well, good for you to have dreams.
I understand wanting to be, as you said, strapped. But the full kit is unnecessary.
You say that now.
Oh no, it is unnecessary in this room, in this moment. When we're on the ship, I expect that at all times.
He just fixes it with the steely gaze. It's like, and repeats again, you say that now.
I think
Like,
we are,
in the tone of, this guy has seen shit. He has been through shit.
He's ready for anything.
Yeah.
I see in your military record, or what I was allowed to read of it.
Yes, most of it is and will remain, most likely, classified.
Redacted.
Yeah. I also have that. I hope we don't have any issues because you think you know something I don't.
I hope we are all able to get along. Just
long
don't.
6 months if we don't.
Just my free advice to you is never run in front of me.
If I'm running in front of you, it's because your shot is bleeding out on the ground.
Good choice.
Maybe from the back.
Oh.
I'm glad I'm not on the security team right now.
I'm glad I'm not security.
I'm sensing there's going to be a lot of friction between the two of them.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Ooh.
Sometimes the wild is kind of cool.
All he did was go up and try to do a greet, and then this dude's just like, I'm better than you, and I know it. And this dude's like, you really want to test that?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I thought I was going to be in charge of the being a doctor, the medical team.
Nope.
But
If you're signing on to a team and you were asked to sign on, you are not the person in charge, most likely.
If anything is,
that's
well, the
not
thing is,
true.
I feel like how it's all gonna play out, it could probably sit under the section to where it's like you're probably just one step below team lead, but still have almost as equal power.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Dr. Chen and I we're gonna have some differences, but that's because of the military background. That's about it.
Yeah, that's why you're not team lead. Not gonna lie.
Dr. Payne and sad noises intensifies.
To be fair, you would get the impression that because you have a military background, that's why you're not team lead of medical. But lost my train of thought. Oh, Deputy Chief Wally will. Well, it's not. All I need you to remember is which one of us is in charge. As long as you follow orders, then we are fine.
I do as I'm told. I shoot things. I hit things that need hitting.
And that's why I'm team lead and you're not. Then he'll walk away.
And then you have me over by the coffee dispenser being excited that I'm actually getting to work with other people for once.
Yeah, and then you look over at the comms team. They're all having fun, chatting. You don't know how it happened, but there's like 3 chessboards out. 2 people are having a heated debate on whether pi actually is infinite or not.
I feel like the on the side who's arguing that it's not should probably be removed from the team.
I believe that Dr. Chen and I would be talking about our backgrounds and just getting a full understanding of our dossiers of each other's. Not, you know, not trying to toot horns or each other, but just, you know, trying to show that we have looked into each other a little bit closely to make sure that we're on the same page. So she would be talking about his background as well, and saying, "Oh, I've seen this paper, and I wanted to know your thoughts about whatever the paper is that he's done."
Oh, about the new surgery technique for ligaments. Yes. I wrote that about 10 years ago. I've since updated my my techniques on that. But don't ask me to go into details about medical shit I don't know.
No, just
I
be
know,
like, it'll be...
I know. That's what the conversation that they would be having. It'd be very nerd-like conversation.
I know a cold is caused by the rhinovirus. That's about it. That's the depths of my medical knowledge.
So what you're saying is that myself, Karsa, and probably Ignis have more medical knowledge than you do.
No,
No,
that's not what I'm saying at all.
he's just saying that he's not going to be able to roleplay it out. It's all.
he doesn't want to go into full detail about it. Probably just, if anything, probably just enough there to where it's like, so you can kind of understand the point of it, and that's about it.
That the point is that they're talking extensively about each other's dossiers, but no, he's not going to go into it.
Yeah, the big thing is he is when it comes to anything that he has pioneered or innovated or even not invented, he's only upgraded. He's never come with anything new on his own. He's simply made techniques better. Is mostly dealing around surgeries. You can tell his big thing is trying to reduce the impact of continuous stress on joints and the things around them.
And while she has a general practitioner background, she also has a psychology background to go with working with PTSD and things like that. So.
Yeah. When it comes to the brain, I tend to stick more to the physical side of the brain, not the mental side of the brain.
Of course. It's just that I've spent with so much time with many of the military that have needed my help in several different expertise.
Yes, that would make sense. Most of the time, I find myself hip deep in blood from gang violence.
Yes, I could see that. But it is good to work with you, Doctor.
You as well.
And she will go back to continuing the conversation and nibbling on her donut and sometimes dunking it into the coffee as she's talking.
Quick flash over to the comms team. They are now all involved in the pie debate. It is currently 8 versus 2. You don't know how the second person got brought into the pie cannot be infinite argument, but they did.
I like to imagine it's not actually a member of the comms team. It's just like some person they pulled over from the security team.
Oh, no. The security team is basically getting a lecture on what not to be and using Max as the example.
Oh!
Sounds about right. You literally pulled in a guy who has literally seen his fair share, and honestly probably unfair share of combat.
Seeing combat does not mean that you have to be a psychopath.
Well, the thing is, it depends on what you've seen in war, though. So that's the biggest thing.
I mean, don't make me break out the combat veteran roles. They're in here. You won't like them. Because what's your current sanity?
Mine or his?
Yours.
Or hers? Mine?
Yeah.
60 out of 99.
Yeah, whatever it is, it wouldn't be that. It'd be a lot lower. They have rules for
Fair
it.
enough.
It's in there.
I think mine is...
Yeah, mine's sitting at 50 out of 99 right now.
Yeah, mine's at 50.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that right now. But
Right now. Keyword.
Mm-hmm.
oh my god, unless you have severe social anxiety, I'm not having you guys take sanity loss for standing in a room talking to people.
I don't know. Might need to take it just for a talk to Max.
Sounds about right. Like, this is a guy who's used to being a freaking government goon, for lack of a better description.
Goonin.
He's been to the
Huh?
corners.
I said goon. I'm like goonin.
And me apparently not getting a joke.
I've explained to you what gooning means.
Me forgetting that you've explained to me a joke.
All right, well, moving on.
Just gonna permanently leave him in suspense.
No, I explained it to him once. He didn't like it then. He's not gonna like it now.
Anyway.
Yeah, but after about an hour and a half, unless anybody has anything they want to add, Ross Hendrix will come back in and says, "Well, I take it everybody's gotten to know each other." Looks at the dude who's nobody around except for maybe that guy, pointing at Max.
The guy wearing a ski mask.
Yo,
It somehow has a half-eaten bagel in hand.
I'm definitely... Yeah, I look over at Max and I'm like, nah, I don't want to meet him.
Rover colloquially referred to him as school shooter.
No, I'm talking to that one woman there that sounded like she had a French accent, but I don't know if it is or not.
it's supposed to be.
Right, then if anything, I'll probably be trying to ask, be like, hey, it's like... We're trying to be like, is that like a hint of a French accent that I'm hearing from your side there?
Yes, I was born in France. I spent most of my childhood years there, and then I came to MIT to get my doctorate.
When I was growing up, I always wanted to learn French, but just never had the funding to actually take the classes.
Oh, well, good news. You don't need money for me to teach you.
It sounds like we're gonna get along just fine in the end after all this.
I'm sure we will. Roth will continue looking at Max. Yo, dude, I think the cosplay party is downstairs. Were you trying to beat Noob Saibot?
Ha ha. Very funny.
Yeah, well, I'm the one paying you, so I get to be funny.
Ooh.
Fair enough.
Anyway, I made sure the building will be open till midnight if you guys want to stick around and talk to each other. If not, just be at Pier... I don't know, pulls out his phone, taps on it. Pier 7 in the Portland Docks, or the main Portland Main Port Authority. That's where we'll be launching from. Tomorrow, around I don't know, 9 a.m. Looks at security. Sorry, 0900. They all roll their eyes as in we understood 9 a.m.
I'm okay with this.
And then a couple of them are like, 9 a.m. Perfect. We're used to having to be somewhere at 0500. He gets slapped in the back of the head. You're still going to have to be there for equipment check at 0500. You ain't getting away. And he's like, that includes you. Over, Max.
I'll be there.
I will ask Dr. Chen, what time do you want me to be here? To be there.
Well, 0900 sounds good.
Okay.
He'll like whisper, "We're medical. We don't need to be there early. What am I gonna do? Check my stethoscope." He looks at it. Oh, look, done.
Exactly.
I'm sure any medical equipment they have on the boat will be in tip-top shape, and we can check it as we go.
Of course.
And honestly, he's saying to be there at 9. We're probably not going to launch till noon. So we'll have a few hours to check over everything.
All right. Very well.
Captain Bell will go to Grover, or we'll go, yeah, Grover. Well, you're not expected to be there until 0900. I would appreciate it if you were there by 0730. Just do a preliminary equipment check in the bridge.
I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow morning.
Yes. She'll go to the rest of the command team. Give them basically the same thing. A couple of them are asked to be there a little later, but those are the lower end guys, and for the most part, they're staring at instruments that kind of don't matter too much, or they only matter in specific circumstances. Basically, the dude staring at the weather updates, yeah, he doesn't need to be there till 9 a.m. Yeah, you easily tell that Captain Bell, it looks, or I shouldn't say it looks, you can definitely tell that Maria has worked with her before, and a couple of the other command teams seem to have, and they have a lot of respect for her. She doesn't seem to be as much of a tight ass as Security Chief Nawali, although Security Chief Nawali became much more of a pain in the ass after he met Max.
Because of the ski mask?
Yeah. Roth be like, oh, I'm actually gonna go to bed a little early. I'm gonna get out of here. Like I said, building's open until midnight. Anybody have anything else they need to talk about? Just leave with me. I'm gonna take that as a no, and I'm out, skis.
Take care.
Yeah. Well, now I'm not going to. And he leaves.
Oh, great. All right, well, he's going to be a trip.
I think Max is probably going to be the one that's more of a trip to be.
No, Max is more likely to be the one getting tripped.
And now Max is... Who's Max? That guy over there with the skiing mask, is that right?
That is correct.
What's your alertness rating?
Don't have a very good one.
No, Max. Just your rating. I'm gonna have you roll it.
I mean, I
Where
would
the hell is
feel
that?
it.
60.
Oh yeah, you definitely hear it.
The guy carrying all the weapons, dressed in a ski mask, you can see that he's freaking ripped.
What do you need a mask for?
That's classified.
Classified.
And I say over to Dr. Megan over there, it's like, I feel bad for you for trying to get a dossier on him now.
Unfortunately,
You would have only been given briefs on the medical team.
Yeah.
Well, if anything, I feel bad for how you're gonna be able to put this one together.
The only team that would have been given briefs on everybody on the crew would have been the security team,
Yeah.
and Captain Bell.
If you're one of my patients, I guess I'll have a somewhat of an understanding soon after that.
Oh, actually, if he does get shot and we need to put him under, maybe we can test a new drug on him to see if we can lighten him up.
Interesting. I agree with you, Dr.
Gets
Chen.
injected with drug, goes on PTSD bender.
Well, that would be interesting. I would have to maybe work on a few of my techniques on him.
Wait. You're trained in psychopharmacology, yes, Doctor?
Yes, yes.
Oh, yes. I think you and I should after this job is done, we need to talk more.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll
You
work
guys
on a
have-
collaboration. Who knows?
You guys have no idea how, but somehow Max has in fact been eating bagels.
He's on his 16th bagel.
She starts making notes about Max.
Despite the fact that he is wearing what appears to be a ski mask.
Oh,
She,
and
she
at one
definitely
point-
starts making notes about Max.
at one point, Dr. Chen is standing behind KK, looking at the ears.
Oh.
Oh, they're not real. Got it.
I keep telling myself they are real, so don't worry.
Turns back around. Oh,
If you want to do a study, you're more than welcome to.
Psychological
Just let me know when
issues.
this whole thing is over. Reach out, and I'll definitely help you out with a study.
trauma-induced amnesia, delusions of anthropomorphism.
Yes, I'm writing this down. Thank you.
Goddamn furries.
Looks over at Grover. We'll be dead too soon for study. Without any rolls, a lot of you are starting to get the impression that Dr. Chen kind of doesn't always see people as people. and not in like the bigoted way, in the clinical, everything's an experiment way.
Yes, and actually the funny thing is Dr. Payne feels the same way.
If you're on a slab or a table, you're a statistic.
Not so much a statistic, but
Demographic?
or a test subject.
If you are on my table,
Guinea
you are in fact an experiment. One
You
way or
are an
another.
experiment, no matter what.
If you're alive or dead, as long as you're on the table and you're out cold.
Yep.
Dead or alive, you're going in a paper.
I think Dr. Chen and I will actually get along real well.
Is it possible to where we could have it with my record here? There's almost no medical history of any kind, like no problems, no issues. Like I've never visited a doctor kind of person.
Oh no.
I just
Oh,
know
that would be
people.
even worse.
Oh, that would be...
And then she starts writing down amnesia. I wonder if we could get
What's
a
your medical history?
her.
What's a medical history?
What is the medical history that she has?
Oh! Walks up to Camille. Dr. Boucher, was it? Yeah? Yes. When we first set out, obviously after you guys do all of your equipment checks, check your tools, and make sure the engine is in, I would like that subordinate, points to KK, to report to our infirmary. Can I ask why? I've been given, while I haven't been able to see all, well, specifically military files on everybody, I have been given a medical history on everybody, just to make sure I don't accidentally give somebody something they're allergic to or any of this. Her medical history is absent. And I need to fill in some blanks. Is there any reason why you would need this right away? I mean, it's just some routine questions to make sure I don't give her penicillin, which she's allergic to, and it would kill her. If she has no medical history, would it not be It's logical that she has not gone to the doctor. She would not know if she is allergic to penicillin. I suppose, but it would still be better to ask. Maybe she did and this never got filed down. Third world countries and all. Doctor, it seems that she has a very American accent. I'm going to have to decline on the how to put this nicely. You're creeping me out. So, no. She will not be reporting to the infirmary unless there is actually an issue. Then you can ask your questions. But no, you see, but by then it'll be too late. I have already given my answer. And we will discuss this no further. Some German on that one. Dr. Cherry walks away. Very well. She has the penicillin. Then it'll be on your head and not mine. Well, no, then I suppose I can see how fast penicillin will destroy somebody's body who's allergic to it. You start going off on shit that isn't even happening.
Matt just kind of watches this exchange like... And people say I argue too much about ethics.
The one dude, one of the comms team. No, people argue about your morals, not your ethics.
You know what? Fair.
He's like, not the answer I was expecting. I'm gonna go back to arguing about pie now.
Pie. We're arguing about pie. What are we arguing? How do you mean by arguing about pie?
All right, so this is when you learn that the guy arguing that pie is not infinite is in fact the comms team leader.
Uh-huh.
I gave him a name, but I've since clicked off that tab like a dumbass.
As you do.
Yep, this is Casey Rowe.
Okay, Casey Rowe.
He's like, how can pi be infinite? How can none of you prove that something is truly infinite? Have you ever seen anything that's truly infinite? Points to everybody. No. Then how can pi be infinite? Just because you've never gotten it all the way to the end to see that it isn't actually infinite?
Wouldn't the eggheads usually call something like that then theoretically infinite?
I mean, maybe. But if it's only theoretical, then does that mean it actually is infinite? Or it is only theoretically infinite? If something is only theoretical, is it real?
So what you're saying is it's Schrodinger's infinity. Got it.
Ah! I guess that's a better way of putting it than I was. I guess. I don't know. It's just, how can something be infinite? How?
If it's infinite, then the end is technically wherever you decide to stop writing.
But just because you choose to stop doesn't mean that it's actually the end.
You are aware that you seem to keep looping back on yourself, though, right? You're
Wait.
basically arguing both sides.
Yes, but is a circle infinite? No, it can't be because it has a defined point anywhere that you can pick. Although, I guess, if you go into something long enough, then you can create an infinite series of points. Oh, wait. But I guess infinity does exist. Okay, yeah, no, you're right. Pi is infinite.
And the pie situation is taken care of. Got it.
You get the feeling that this dude just got stuck on one, like, one hang-up that he, like, saw on Reddit or something. And after arguing through it, he's just like, oh, wait, no, okay, there it is. Yep, no, we're good. They were wrong.
And I guess that leads that.
Yeah, nobody's on the comms team. Nobody gets to be under team lead, bro.
I'd like to know how they went from chess to arguing pi.
How do you go from anything to anything?
It depends if the conversation is strong enough or if it has enough convincing to pull people away from one thing to another.
Sometimes the way to go from the first floor to the second floor is to jump. Sometimes the way to go from the first floor to the second floor is to climb. Sometimes the way to go from the first floor to the second floor is to use the stairs. Sometimes the elevator. Sometimes you go from the first floor to the second floor because gravity got inverted and you actually fell.
And then there's also the other version too, called the ladder.
Ah, yeah, see?
Very
And
well.
sometimes you go from the third floor to the first floor by jumping.
No. See, we're only talking about going up, not down. See, now you've changed the circumstances.
Max just goes back to impossibly eating his bagel.
You just see it slowly vaporizing out of his hand.
Oh, is that an everything bagel? I love those. Are there any more?
Max just looks behind him. Yes.
Oh, perfect. The dude takes like 3.
Yeah, you guys have, like I said, you guys have absolutely no idea how he's eating and drinking through the ski mask.
Oh no, it's easy. I haven't made them roll alertness. Just every time you think nobody's looking, you just like lift mask out.
I mean, sure, let's go with that.
We're
That
going
was
with
funnier than what I was thinking.
we're going with the logical reason. I mean, it's that or you're pulling it down, which would be clearly obvious that you're doing because it'd be all over the bottom of the eye slit of the mask.
Fair.
Who knows? You could just be hoovering it up off the mask too when he's done taking a bite.
No, he definitely got caught doing that. Now this is what the comms team is debating.
They're debating what?
How the bagels are just how Max is making the bagels disappear.
Oh.
How's he eating it? Is he pulling the mask down or is he pulling the mask up to eat?
Well, no. Then there's a third camp of he's not actually eating them. He's just breaking off pieces and throwing it in the garbage, making you think he's eating it.
With muscle like that, he's obviously eating shit.
You know, bagels taste really good with salmon and cream cheese.
You get a couple of looks of what the fuck.
I prefer just the cream cheese,
No,
not the salmon part.
No, the doctor's got it right.
Ew.
Okay, now there is a bigger room-wide debate of the best type of topping for a bagel.
Bagel.
Well,
Congratulations.
there are better toppings than that, but that is a good.
Okay, at this point, Max puts down his bagel finally and says, "You toast the bagel, you get it nice hot, you put cream cheese on it, and then you put smoked salmon on it."
Indeed.
The room erupts into yelling as some people are now arguing for sour cream, sour cream, clove, and cream cheese. Some other people are like, "Why would you heat the bagel? That destroys its integrity, destroys the airy smoothness of it."
Why would you put cloves in cream cheese?
Why would you put salmon on it?
It's chives you want in cream cheese.
Fuck you, I put clove.
And then you have me sitting in the back eating a bagel, just laughing at the whole ordeal that's unfolding.
Then you see first mate Maria's like, I just put cheddar on it.
Cheddar is good too.
And Captain Bell and Security Chief Wally are both huddling in the corner, trading secrets on headache medication. Dr. Ched is sitting on a chair, writing notes about this entire argument. Not on what people are saying. It's just like how like the argument itself and how it started and how it's now spiraling out of control.
Yeah,
Rover,
no,
removing himself from the situation, is smoking in the corner of the room.
This is modern day, my guy. You're smoking outside.
I'm going to attempt to try to shift the conversation and just see how fast it shifts here to be like, hey, how many different universes do we actually have? I know that we have a 3D universe, but is there really a 4D universe out there?
All right. What I want you to do then is I want you to roll me persuasion. Yes, we're doing our first roll with a plus 20% bonus.
Right, so where do I find persuasion on this list?
It's just persuade.
I am blind if I'm not seeing it.
They're all in alphabetical order left to right. It is in the middle column, fourth from the bottom.
Someone just click the dice or click the thing or whatever.
Yeah, it should bring up a thing to ask for a bonus. That's usually what happens.
30.
Failure.
You did not add the extra 20, so that's actually a success. So yes, the argument shifts to singular universe versus multiverse versus infiniverse. Which
And we're
then,
back to infinity.
which then changes to time travel. And this is as soon as the time travel thing comes up, it lasts maybe about 5 minutes for security chief to realize, like, nope, not going through this again.
Oh, dear, no.
Is it bad, George? Just like I want to see the world burn as in just the people arguing on who's right and who's wrong over something that this should be fairly simple.
So far, the only topic that is simple is pi infinite. It's the only simple one. The answer is, as far as all of the smart people in the world are concerned, yes. The other ones of that is all just pseudo-theoretical nonsense on whether or not it can actually happen or not. Anyway, after Captain a while, he gets up and stops the time travel argument. He's like, I understand that the building is open until midnight, but the arguments are getting out of hand. Looks at his watch. Oh, it's 11:45. Get the hell out.
She walks out.
For the
I'll
sake
see you
of
later,
this,
Dr. Chen.
for the sake of this, Grover, you heard all this because you were on a balcony that was specifically added for smoking. I don't know why it was specifically added for smoking, but it's there.
Because this building was a hotel once. Boom.
Oh, so he would not have been out just outside the front door. He'd be on the balcony.
Yeah, because this is the part I forgot to tell you. You guys were up on like the 30th floor of whatever fucking building this is.
Oh, okay.
You're basically in penthouse area.
In the morning, you guys. Okay. The people that were asked to show up at a specific time, other than 9 a.m., do you show up at said specific time?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we will start with Max, because you had been the one there earliest.
Get there. Max is there, has his equipment already laid out for inspection.
All right. You get there at 0500. Equipment inspection isn't he's looking over your equipment. It's you guys are looking through your own equipment to make sure there's no problems. And going through the entire armory. Have fun.
Yeah, well, Max on his own notably has a LMG. For whatever reason, a woodcutter's axe, or whatever a wood axe is, according to the equipment list.
That would be a two-handed axe. You know, the one you normally see in movies for splitting logs.
Yeah.
Firewood. That.
And a heavy pistol.
Nobody questions why. Nobody questions your choice in melee weapon because they're looking at you going, you know, if he's breaking out the axe, he must be truly insane and wants to die.
And then you just see numbers etched into the blade of the axe.
Yeah, pretty much.
I figured Noel's gonna question it because Noel's gonna question the person wearing a ski mask. We'll question the employer for bringing him on.
Yep.
Fair enough. But it does take about 3 hours for your 10-man team to catalog the entire armory. Because you're not taking all the guns apart and checking them. You're doing a basic clean check.
Inventory check.
Well, and just a basic clean check, which means you're taking out the mags, pulling back the receiver, checking to make sure the barrels are clean, that the safeties work, but they move. You actually have to fire them to see if they work or not, but you're not doing that in the main Port Authority piers. That's not happening.
Hey, if you want to get thrown in prison for good.
Yeah. But looking over the armory, you have a wide variety of standard handguns. For the sake of this, it'd be a unspecified amount of medium pistols, an unspecified amount of ammo for said medium pistols, and an unspecified amount of light rifles, and an unspecified amount of ammo for the light rifles. There's also some explosive ordnance, just in case.
Oh.
It's also going to be unquantified because I don't feel like it.
Insert number here.
But by explosive ordnance, I mean there are some hand grenades, there are some flashbangs. There's a... You're not sure how these guys got their hands on it, but there is a crate worth of C4. And I do mean a crate. which if that whole crate went off, the Port Authority would need 2 more docks, or need 2 new docks.
So enough
you
to put a sizable hole in the ship.
It would probably not only
Eviscerate the
cut
ship.
your ship in half, it would probably sink it damn near immediately. Luckily, C4 is stable and it only goes off with a detonator or an electrical charge. I think. I might be wrong on the electrical charge. But shooting it ain't gonna do shit, and setting it on fire ain't gonna do shit. Oh no, it's fire.
Oh, no.
A high enough heat will set it off.
I was gonna say, I think fire would probably set it off at some point in time.
Yeah. But anyway. About when you guys are nearing the end of the inventory check, you'll see that most of the command team has showed up. And Grover, this is when you will show up. Depending on how early or late, you'll be there right around the time that the captain and first mate show up. There's one guy in the command team that's 10 minutes late. And he gets denied breakfast.
Suck.
Yeah, basically. But you basically spend that hour and a half up on the bridge, making sure all the equipment turns on, doing a... I don't actually know if you could do this, but doing like a dry engine check just to see if it starts up and turns over and all that. Not actually turning on any of the propellers.
Just make sure everything in the bridge is in order.
Yeah. The rest of you show up around 9. KK, you and Dr. Boucher head down to the engine room to make sure to check on the engine. It has already been started, or like gone through the initial setup from the command team on the bridge. Everything seems to be running fine.
Mm-hmm.
You're also checking all the water pipes.
All the valves, all the pipes, things like that. The joints.
Well, not all of them, but you're doing a. Luckily, this is a modern ship, so it has a lot of computer equipment on it, so you're able to do simulations and track water flow and all that to make sure that there's no areas that are being constricted or blocked or any of that. Welcome to the modern ship. Welcome to the easy one, guys. As far as the med team goes, you guys get down to the infirmary, which is actually well stocked. Even Dr. Chen's like, I was not expecting this.
Well, this is a good surprise.
Yeah,
It's even
Rough
better
and-
stocked than what the military has.
Tender's like, well, yeah, I don't shortchange you guys. Duh.
Thank you.
But you look at, you guys got access to basically anything you would need for most traumas. There are certain things that aren't here. Most notably, there ain't no snake venom for antivenoms. He's like, yeah, I didn't think you'd need that.
Okay.
It's mostly because what I've learned about Hasselbeck Island is there are no snakes on it.
Okay.
Now, there are a couple of venomous spiders, so there is a small amount, because getting a hold of it was hard even for me, of anti-venom for those particular spiders.
But we do have some.
A small amount. So, it's better that people don't get bit.
Yes.
Yeah, you look it over. This one I am going to quantify, so go ahead and note it on your sheet,
I am.
Karsa. There are only 6 doses of this. When he said he got a small amount, it was a small amount.
Okay. To add it to my list.
Note that you won't have that on you personally. I just needed it noted down that that's how many are remaining in the infirmary. Mostly because it has to be kept chilled.
Right. Can I change the name?
But other than that, you got access to. Fuck, why is this thing? Antibiotics, painkillers, anticoagulants or coagulants? Both, actually. I said, fuck it. I didn't know which one you needed, so I got both.
Blood thickeners and blood thinners.
Yeah.
Oh, you might need both.
And you're looking for gauze. You notice you don't have it. He's like, oh yeah, no, I got you the new stuff. It just came out a couple of years ago. Yeah, it's not gauze. It's not a bandage. It's a thing that's in between.
Is this
It's got
for like liquid skin or something?
Yeah, it's something like that. It's still like a patch, but it's got like the stuff, the anti-inflammatories and all that stuff like on it. So like when you put it on something, it goes topical and inside the wound rather than having to take 9 steps to do it.
Right. Okay.
So for short version, until I tell you otherwise, you guys have access to individual first aid kits, except for Karsa. I believe you picked up the trauma kit.
I did.
Yeah. It's just like, we got oxygen tanks. I don't know what that is, but they said we needed it, so we got it.
So we pretty much have all the medical equipment we need for
Yeah.
our voyage.
Yeah. And Dr. Chen's
Preferably
like,
nothing breaks.
yeah, he's like, this is actually better stocked than some research hospitals I've been in.
I would agree with you, Dr. Chen. I believe we are going to be fine.
Mr. Hendrix, when this job's over, would you consider opening up your own, medical research department? He's like, I can give it some thought. Not usually something I look into, but I suppose. Fuck it. The hell else am I doing with this money? Oh, right, this.
I wouldn't mind being involved.
I mean, it's all going to depend on how well I write your reviews when this job's done.
Of course.
Granted, I won't really need to write them then, because I'll be writing them to myself, by myself, for myself. His eyes crossed a little bit. That hurt my head. I'm a not be in here for a minute.
He thought too hard, too fast. He's go lay down for a little bit.
Well, he's just like, I'm doing a thing for me, by me, for me, through the meat of the... Okay. This is me, myself, and I tangled in a web of myself. Yeah. But, back up on the bridge. It is around noon, and you guys get the go-ahead to leave, and the captain's like, good to know I haven't lost my touch. Right on time. You guys pull out of Pier 7 of the Portland, Maine, by the way. Everything gives me shit. Port Authority.
Who would think you're talking about Portland, Oregon?
Because you know how many people know that Portland, Maine exists?
Not many.
You know what? Fair enough. And I say this is an East Coaster.
I didn't know this until I looked up what the main docks were for Maine.
Okay. Yeah, again, fair enough.
So you guys pull out of the docks. It takes a good 20 minutes to get out and away from the docks, because just that's how traffic works. Actually, probably should take longer, but I don't actually know how long it takes. Anyway, moving on. But you guys finally get out into international waters. This is when Security Chief Nuwali brings everyone back to the armory. Okay, now we are going to take all these weapons and make sure that they actually fucking work. So, everybody gear up. Take corrective weapons. We're going to do a little target practice off the side of the ship. We've already cleared it from Mr. Hendrix, and I'm going to do an announcement to make sure everybody knows that we're not under attack. We are in fact just testing the weapons to make sure they work. Clear?
Clear.
The others say it. Then get moving. Over the
Max
PA.
gets moving.
Over the PA for the ship. This is Security Chief Nuwali. You are going to be hearing gunfire soon. Just want to make sure everybody's aware. We are testing our weapons to make sure they work. There is no threat. This is just a test. If you have no need to be on the starboard side, of the promenade deck, I don't know what they call the promenade deck, but fuck it, then don't be there. Oh, actually, in 1 hour after we're done, if anyone would like to have a crash course in weapons handling, we will do that after we are done testing all the weapons. That is all. Bing, boom, boom. And everybody scratches their head wondering, like, why does he have Japanese high school bells for the whatever.
I don't try to understand that.
Then some people are like, is Hendrix a weeb? And then you look over, there's like a Macedonian statue. No, clearly he just doesn't. Hey, just appropriating everybody's culture. Okay, got it. And like this ship that you're on, the Will to Power, all the military people were expecting like a military ship, like tight quarters, like sleeping 8 people to a room. Although I don't think it's actually 8. Fuck, it might be. I don't know. I've never been on a military ship. All that shit, all that good stuff.
At maximum, it's usually 4.
But no, there are carpeted hallways, even the armory, which Captain Security Chief is like, that's a bad idea. We're gonna rip that up. So that's what you guys are gonna be doing after the weapons test. But you guys are like, you know what? Maybe working in the private sector isn't so bad. As you are, as for the most part, a lot of the people are 2 to a room. Each of the security heads are their own, and each one of you guys has your own room.
Okay.
Let's go.
That's good.
Because when all is said and done, like, are you guys team leads? No. The whole making you guys not team lead was my way of making sure there was a relevant NPC with a name.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like the other 8 members of each team, like, no, they're not as good as you guys at anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, except for the guys on comms. Some of those guys are probably better than you at some things.
Communicating.
I don't know, man. Diwali and Back seem to be communicating just fine. After about that hour, does anybody go out on the promenade deck to basically get weapons training? Although
Yes.
technically, I guess it would be like weapons, not just necessarily training, but also just target practice in general.
Yes.
All right.
I probably would as well.
Well,
Okay, it's been a while.
all right. Yeah. Captain Bell will easily give you permission to be like, just be back in. Looks at her watch. I don't know, an hour.
Alrighty.
Will do.
No. Camille is up there with you. She's like, I have only fired a gun once. It was a dumb ex-boyfriend. He took me out to the woods and said, here's a shotgun, look, a tree. It's not that good experience.
I can understand why.
Let's hope nobody shoots their own foot.
Oh, good news. Well, I did not shoot my own foot here. His car needed a few repairs.
I needed some new equipment.
Oh my.
I believe it needed 4 new tires and a new engine.
Oh, of course. Okay.
Oh, this had nothing to do with the gun. He was a cheating bastard, so I slashed his tires and beefed up his engine.
Understood. That makes a lot of sense now.
Oh wait, what is the statute of limitations on the destruction of property?
What, 5 years?
Oh, I don't know. We're in national waters. You can't prove anything.
This is true. So yes, I will join in on that.
All right. Captain Wally is personally doing any weapons training. For the people who have had military service, he's like, I understand. Maybe you want to clean off the rust. I'll have you with a separate group on the port side for basically just target practice.
Okay. I head over to the target practice. Since I am military.
I mostly wanted this for the
Civilians.
yes, for those who haven't had any actual combat experience.
Mhm.
Because while the security team is here, it would still be better if they knew how to handle a gun.
I agree.
So it will be in rotating shifts for the some people in the med team, some people in the engineering team, and some people in the comms team. Not everybody shows up. There are a few people that are like, I abhor gun violence. I abhor violence of any kind. I refuse to use a gun. They are designed only to kill. I make things that help people. And then somebody's like, technically an engine could be used in a tank, so wouldn't that make it a weapon to kill? So he's like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, it's one of those
Insulting
people.
Hippocratic
Oh,
oath.
oh, it's those people.
Hmm.
And there's one guy who's just like, I'm just a conscientious objector. I don't like hurting people, and picking up a gun is like akin to hurting somebody. He's like, okay, but what if they're shooting at you? He's like, then I run away. He's like, you're on a boat. Then I swim away. It's the ocean.
I must swim underwater away.
Cool. Then you die of hypothermia.
It's better than being shot.
Yeah, but you know what also is better than being shot? Shooting them first.
But then you get the other side that's like from when I just from some of the medical team there was probably talking about the Hippocratic oath.
Oh no, Dr. Shed is there, and he seems to have used a gun before. He's like, yeah. You know what? The funny thing about do no harm?
Is only if there's no witnesses
No.
to say that you did harm.
Those that do the most harm are the ones that don't take that oath, and the ones that do the least harm also tend to not take that oath. I tend to apply to the philosophy of do no harm but take no shit.
That is a good philosophy. I agree with that philosophy.
In the short version, it's do no undue harm, I think, is the better way of putting it.
I agree.
And then you'll probably have me off to the side mumbling about something about my island. I hope it's okay.
Beyond that, it's probably gonna take a good week to get to Hasvag Island. All right, again, up front, I have no idea how long it takes ships to get places.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing.
We could just say a week, but it's usually it's based off of weather conditions.
Well, I know, and like how fast the boat can go. This is a modern boat. Like this boat is this ship is traveling faster than most ships its size should. And KK, you realize that like the engine in this was probably meant for a ship 2 to 3 times bigger than this. Like you and Camille are both, well, Camille definitely is not gonna tell you how you're casting this. But the rest of the engineering is like, they're looking at it going, whoever put this in, they knew what the hell they were doing. That's fucking genius. Because an engine this size should be tearing this thing apart. Or at least warping the frame or doing something.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on how they managed to put the gearing in order to actually get everything to play nice.
I mean, that's the thing. Even with that, like, the command crew is running this thing. Obviously not at top speed, no point. But the speed we're going, or like the RPMs that this thing is kicking out, like, that is to run a bigger ship at like 2/3 of our speed. Like, I don't understand how it's not warping the frame. And then you guys start like looking through it and all this thing is. This thing is put in here rather ingeniously. They've found a way to.
From the looks of it, they probably started with the engine and built around it so they can make sure it was structurally sound in the first place.
I mean, it's not just that; it's the way that the torque from the engine is being distributed along the frame.
Hmm.
It's the force that is normally being applied by the engine to the frame and everything else is being distributed along the entire engineering sector instead of just where the engine's at. Again, I'm not a mechanical engineer. This is shit that sounds good, and I'm running with it.
And by me.
But the electrical system is actually pretty standard. They apparently didn't feel the need to go insane on that. At first. Then you look at it, you're like, we have basically what is the equivalent of a small hospital as an infirmary, which is easily drawing the most electricity, second only to the bridge. And you start looking along the wiring, looking at all this thing. It's the amount of power this thing is kicking out. Again, everything you're looking at for the engineering sector says this ship should be 2 to 3 times bigger than it actually is. So, this man clearly put a lot of money into this ship, and the math nerds, I mean the comms team, actually comes up to will show up with like they have an estimate about how much this ship costs. They're like, I don't think an aircraft carrier costs this much. And Woody's like, no, that can't be right, because standard U.S. aircraft carrier costs. What does Google say? I got it. 13 billion. Is like, there's no way. They're like, you're right. I had a number in the wrong place. This thing probably costs somewhere in the ballpark of 700 to 800 billion. Like, the amount of money that went into this ship, there's a lot of other things you could have done with that money instead of make this one ship for 50 people. But hey, that's what rich people do. They buy randomly overly expensive toys.
Yeah.
Failing that, build them themselves.
Well, no, that's how you get the Titan submersible.
Touche.
Mm.
Hey.
Failing that, get smart people to build them for you.
Yeah. But, so, you guys spend about 3 days out at sea before Security Chief Nawali comes over the PA. And then you just kind of hear the tail end of, I fucking hate that.
Agree. All right, listening to the what he's trying to say.
While we are not in range yet, we are going to be approaching the outer perimeter of what we think the outside range of the Pirates of Housefag is. It's not today, it won't be tomorrow, it'll be in about 2 days. Just want to keep everybody on a heads up. Again, we are about 2 days out from the island, is what we think the outer range of their boats or ships are. Also, I need somebody skilled in computers to show up, or maybe like I don't know. Give me a rep from the comms engineering department, please. Turn these stupid fucking bells off. That is all. That is the last time you hear those bells. As there's at one point you do hear an argument between Nawali and Hendrix. He's like, I like the bells. Come on, man. And I was like, but I have to wait a full 4 to 5 seconds before I can make the announcement. That's 4 to 5 seconds of critical time if we are under attack.
Man,
Has
facts
a
and
point.
logic.
Has
Yeah,
a point.
Hendrix is like, all right, I guess. Fine.
You could alternate. You could have the bells for something else other than that.
Just have an override switch on there to where one that skips the bells if you need to put out something urgently, and then you have the bells if it's not, if it's just an announcement.
And he's like, no, it's all or nothing. See, the bells are on all the time, or they're on it, they're not on at all. And thus, the bells have been eliminated.
The bells have been removed from the chat.
Yeah, basically. Except for the random daily announcements that Hendrix does, and he does them every day at noon. He apparently has a recording of the bells and puts them in front of the PA.
Oh, fucking course he would.
So we know it's Hendrix when the bells show up.
Just out of spite.
And then basically his announcements, quote unquote, for the day is like, what's the weather gonna be like? Today's word is liminal. No, it's just dumb shit like that.
It ends on have a scientific day.
No. It's more corporate than that. Have a productive day.
Mm-hmm.
And you just hear a mumble under the breath underneath all that there. Remember, you are expendable.
Expendable members of the family. Wait a minute. That's not how that's supposed to go. Is that button still on? Shit!
You say the quiet part out loud.
Well,
it's like the fine print when it's in bold.
It's weird. Unless he's actively talking to somebody, you guys never actually see know where Hendrix is. If you try to find him, you can't, unless you page him, and then he somehow shows up where you're at.
Interesting.
I mean, it's not like immediate where it's just like you page him, you turn around, he's there. Like, ah, it's like, like I would dispel that shit right now. It's like it's weird, it's creepy, but it's not unnatural because it's like you page him, he's like, oh yeah, no, it's gonna take
But
me.
is it
like,
supernatural?
No, he's like, oh yeah, I'll be there in a couple minutes, and then a couple minutes later, he's there. But he never has anybody come to him, is what I'm getting at. And if you try to go to his office, it's either locked or he's not there. And when you knock, you get no response.
But then when you page him, his office door opens up.
No, when you page him, he's just like, all right, where are you? All right, I'll be there in 3 to 5 minutes. And then in 3 to 5 minutes, he's there.
You should just have it where it's like, you knock on his office door, you page him, he'd be like, yeah, I'll be there in 3 to 5 minutes. His office door opens up all of a sudden.
No. Say you try that. 3 to 5 minutes, he walks up behind you.
No explanation as to where.
Yeah.
Or it's like you page him, you hear him in your office, he walks up behind you, it's like, wait, what?
Yeah. The only time that he goes, he'll show up sometimes unannounced in different departments. Like his favorite place to hang out is the bridge, apparently.
Of course.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I wonder why.
I mean, there are times where he will show up in the infirmary for like 2 hours with no explanation on why he's there.
The first thing he's asked, is there a problem?
No. Just making sure everything's good. Everything good?
Everything's good.
All right.
Still stands there for 2 hours anyway.
Yeah, basically. Like, everybody, just from the news articles and some of the interviews you see with this guy, this dude came off, off and a little weird. Now that you guys have had to spend time with him, weird doesn't cut it. Dr. Chen actually offers up a explanation to you. He's like, after cataloging some of his behavior and some of the interviews I've seen him with, looking through some other journals, and actually, don't tell him I did this, but I've contacted some of my colleagues off the ship. He may have a very, very rare form of autism.
Oh, really?
Yes, but even then, I've explained some of the things I've noticed to my colleagues and some things and some thoughts I think. It's like, this is only the closest fit guess. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I would see. Huh. I would have to look into that.
He doesn't take social cues like everyone. Well, not okay. Doesn't take social cues like most of the.
He doesn't take social cues well.
Well, no, he keeps stopping himself as you get the you've worked with him for a couple days. You get the theory of like when he says most people and then stops himself, he's eliminating specific like groups of individuals as he's thinking. It's like, he doesn't take social cues like half of the crew. Of course, I had to eliminate the security team because they're prone to violence, which means their social cues are going to be off anyway. The command cue is they are wired to accept social cues in this very specific manner. And then I had to eliminate yourself and myself.
We have different types of social cues. More of a experimental, would you say?
Yes, I'm starting to see why one of my friends, or one of my colleagues in the psychiatric field, is starting to say that judging people based on how they take social cues doesn't work.
No. Have to think about that a little bit further. Social cues. What other forms is besides social cues would you say would cause him to possibly have autism?
Okay, I am not a psychiatrist. Psychology is, it's too freeform, it's too abstract for me.
That is true. It is a bit abstract to a degree.
It's just the way he interacts with people, the way you both turn and he's there in the infirmary again. Dr. Chen looks at you and you kind of get that feeling of he's trying to telepathically tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing you guys can't explain is how he seems to get everywhere.
We have a teleporter?
Well, no, you've clearly seen him walking places. There's been times where, like, you've been walking in the same direction down the hall as him. He clearly walks places. It's just, the thing I'm getting at is, like, he doesn't interact with people like a normal person does.
Right. He's very eccentric.
Yeah. And it's the fact that, like, when he's on the bridge, he seems normal enough. That's the only time he really seems, quote-unquote, normal. Whatever the fuck normal actually is.
His version of normal.
I just mean, in general, what is normal? That's a discussion for off recording. But it's just every other time he seems like in his own head, in his own world, where things just, he doesn't notice things like most people do. It's like when somebody brings up a problem to him, he's like, that's a problem. How? And they explain it, he's like, okay, I'm gonna take your word for it. But then Dr. Shades, he's like, but then again, maybe it's not autism?
Maybe
No.
he's focused.
No,
Hyper-focused.
This goes beyond that. Captain Diwali is a man of focus. There's something off about our employer. Something I can't quite explain.
Interesting.
But I don't think it's malicious or malevolent.
More inquisitive, maybe?
I was gonna go with intriguing, but
Intriguing works.
I don't really think he's inquisitive either, because he doesn't exactly ask a lot of questions aside from, is everything going okay?
True.
Starting to tire of that sentence.
I believe in 2 days we may not be having that as everything's okay, but
Yes,
we'll
but
see.
Maybe we'll have some actual work to do aside from you look and 3 of the beds are still taken up by the obscene amount of seasickness.
Yes. Besides seasickness. I wonder if they brought any ginger on board.
The 3 people who are still in the beds, they each have like 3 Dramamine patches on them. It's not helping.
They probably shouldn't have taken the job.
Well, the thing is, too, it's hard to say though. Each person reacts differently to a boat.
True.
Yeah, like the first 2 days, like you actually had a bunch of people confined to their quarters, except for from the security team and the command team. About half of all of the other teams, including the medical team, were basically off their feet.
Mhm.
Now you've got it down to 3.
Hey, we're doing good.
Yeah. 2 from the comms team and 1 from the med team.
Oh, even the med team. Oh no.
I mean, just because you're a medical professional doesn't mean you've ever been on a ship for an extended period of time.
True.
There's always that one guy that gets seasick.
Yeah. Oh, and the guy from the med team gets violently seasick. You're not even sure how he's still alive at this point.
I'm lucky.
Can't keep anything down. Luckily, the intravenous fluids are keeping him going, and he's getting better. He'll get there. The other 2 are probably going to be discharged in a couple hours. But
So we're down a crew member.
yeah, but you haven't been missing them.
Yeah.
The great thing about being on the med team when nobody really needs anything, there's no work.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, for the most part, the chief problem on the boat or on the ship for at least half the crew is boredom. Actually, no, it'd be about half. Like the security team, sure, they do security sweeps and patrols, and like they do rotating shifts on who's on guard and all that. But for the most part, y'all ain't doing much.
Guess I'm probably playing chess.
The security team?
No.
The
No.
comms team,
I
think.
mean, they might.
A couple of them, sure, but for the most part, they're like, "What's your favorite flavor of crayon?" Kidding. The comms team also is suffering from a lot of boredom. They don't really seem to have a lot to do. Because the last time they got into a debate was the first time security team actually had something to do. The engineering team, you guys are kept on your feet. Well, not kept on your feet, kept on your toes. For a good amount of the voyage, just making sure this marvel of engineering that is the engine is kept in working order. And again, you guys are working on rotating 8-hour shifts.
I feel like at some point in time, I'll probably want to work my way down to wherever security detail is or armory or whatever it is to make sure some of my equipment's in order, I'd say.
Oh, easily when you're not on shift, you can deal with that. Then you can.
Well,
get
that's what I meant by
there. Yeah, Captain Nawali does not stop anybody from cleaning their personal effects or checking them. All he asks is that you adhere to the level of gun safety and trigger discipline that he expects of his team.
I think the only thing is I'd probably end up asking for a little bit of help here, like his tips about getting rust off the barrel.
Oh, yeah. Easily have somebody help you with that.
He's not going to question the ancients, the age of the guns and all.
He doesn't care. He looks at it and goes, "Does it work?"
Well, I don't know. I haven't managed to fire it in the past, 7 years. It
You
washed
just
up on my-
fired
it
it
wa-
a few
no,
days ago.
Okay, he pinches the bridge of his nose. Okay.
It washed up on my island when I was around, I want to say 18.
Okay, we're going up to the deck. Bring that with. Alright. I guess we're gonna have you roll.
What do you want me rolling?
Brief sheet. Let's see what you have. Go ahead and roll craft mechanic. Technically, I think you're supposed to be rolling gunsmithing, but
Is it roll mechanic then?
yeah.
8.
Oh, alright. Yeah, the gun works just fine. The sights are a little off, and you gotta, like, take it apart and clean it a few times to get the rifling cleaned out correctly. But the gun works fine. He's just like, why the World War II rifle?
It was washed up on my beach when I was living on my island at the time.
What it means is we have plenty of modern weapons on the ship.
Oh,
Don't need to use that one.
It's for whatever reason the island was always a dumping ground for a lot of old World War II equipment, so I've always adapted with just using what I had available at hand.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm getting at. You have much more modern equipment available at hand right now.
If anything, I could just pass him the 44 I have. I said this also washed up on the beach. I think this is the only thing that I've ever used for hunting. I pass him the handle of the gun while holding the barrel.
He rubs his temples at the, as far as he's concerned, ancient weaponry.
Note to self about KK. When taking looks at them. Okay, using odd weapons. Got it.
But he helps you make sure they get working order, and he's like, "Well, I'm not expecting you to have to fight anyway, so they work. It's good enough for me."
At some point in time, I guess earlier in the other thing there, it's like I'm kind of surprised that no one heard me about me mumbling about living alone on an island.
What?
That's when everyone went onto the top deck to originally do the weapon training.
No,
And
that's
me
him.
at the time.
No, that. Oh, you did say that out loud.
No, I said it as like a mumble, but I don't know if anyone would have heard it though. That's the thing.
No, I thought you were saying that like sarcastically to him. That's why he was like, "What?"
Oh no. I guess I was like, if anything, it was just a mumble at the time being. But that's what I was saying. Like, since you said Dr. Chen was there originally, I didn't know if he would have heard it or not.
No. No. Dr. Chen can hyper focus on what he's doing. That doesn't mean he's alert. Actually, a lot of times it would be like, he doesn't even get to roll alertness. That's how focused he is.
Can I bring up the parts where I've been living on an island alone for the past 12 years?
Okay.
Most people just wave you off and be like, "All right, cat girl's weird, got it." But
I think I was 12 years, 10 years, something like that. The last thing I remember, I was having a memory on that island when I was 12.
Okay, who are you talking to about this now?
Just openly, I'm kind of just like, I guess, like speaking to myself, and I guess it's up to people if they want to say who they're. It's like if they're listening.
Starts taking notes.
It'd probably be loud enough for people to hear, but I don't know.
If you're talking around Dr. Payne, she would be taking notes and adding it to your dossier as medical history.
Like the dossier in medical history that's non-existent currently.
But it's becoming existing because she's making notes of you.
Yeah, you're learning pieces of her history.
Yep. And writing it down every time you speak. So, okay, 12 years.
I believe it's 12 years. Don't really remember that, to be honest, on that front.
But that conversation aside, you will jump up to the bridge. Grover, you happen to be piloting at this point in time.
Okay.
And one of the men watching the instrument will call over the first mate. You hear them vaguely having a conversation, and then first mate Fuentes will come up to you and be like, "Would you mind looking over this instrument? She says individual seems to be having an issue determining something."
I'll take a look. So Grover walks over.
You're looking at basically like a Doppler radar and a couple other instruments for weather observation. Would you roll me meteorology? I believe you have.
I do. I would be happy to. Roll straight.
No, take a plus 10. Doesn't matter, you succeeded anyway.
I thought it would pull up a pop-up menu when I click the skill to like
Yeah, I would.
the modifier.
Yeah, I would too. I'll have to look on here to see if I could set something for that. But if not, then I'll just have you roll it and we'll just note on our own.
Okay. But in any
Yeah.
case, we rolled well.
Yep. So the individual that happens to be there is looking over the Doppler radar, and he's like, "Well, I mean, there's clearly a low pressure environment coming in, but based off everything else, like we should still be fine. Maybe get a little rain, but it shouldn't be too bad. You look at that, and you want to hit this dude." Because he is clearly missing one element of this. Again, I don't know meteorology. There is a pretty big storm heading your way.
Yeah,
Now,
so Grover sees this like, son, you ought to get your eyes checked. Do you see this right here?
he's like, "But no, god damn it. Yeah, all right, that's gonna be a problem."
Well, the ship's big enough. We should be able to handle a storm, but better to be prepared for it. It's like a doozy.
Yeah, all right. Then, First Base Fuentes has already walked off and come back to the captain. Clearly, she had, well, maybe not noticed it like you did, but knew that this guy was wrong. She didn't know how he was wrong, but knew he was wrong.
Unlucky.
I mean, it's that thing of like when you look at somebody's work on like a math problem and you can tell that something is off
Something's
with it.
not right.
Yeah. But she comes back with the captain. Like, so, what's going on?
We're still until the storm. It'll probably hit us. Insert time frame here.
All right. She moves over to the captain's chair, hits the PA. Oh, the captain's chair? She heads over to the PA. "This is your captain speaking. There is a rather large storm approaching us. It doesn't... The cell itself seems pretty big." Looking at Grover for confirmation. But it doesn't seem horrendous. Now most of the command team and the security team have been through something like this. And I know a few individuals from the other teams have as well. For the rest of you, the ship is going to rock. You're going to hear a lot of noise. It's not going... The ship will be fine. Even if it may not sound or look like it will at certain times. The waves will crest over the lower decks. So if you are on the lower decks looking out a porthole, yes, there may be times where you're looking out underwater. Or it'll seem like you're looking out underwater. This is normal. If anyone tries to panic and abandon ship, you will be restrained, you will be sedated. And I'm sure you know what being sedated under the care of Dr. Chen means. There's murmurs through the other teams for the other PCs. So keep calm and do your jobs. If it becomes worse, then we will deal with it. That is all. And I know it's a little early, but we are going to pick up next time with the film.
Fair enough.
I'm afraid that means having to do rolls.
Yeah. I mean, occasionally. Because again, in Delta Green, you only roll when there's a problem.
When there's a problem.
Or when I think it's funny, which is why I had KK roll for the guns.
Twice. KK is the only one who rolled today.
No,
Yeah.
I just rolled.
Oh, you just rolled. Yeah.
Yeah, because had he failed his meteorology check, this storm would have blindsided you.
Oh, good God. Oh,
Yeah.
that would have been bad.
Yep.
Well,
I may not know much about being on a ship, but
that's bad. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And in all fairness, Grover, like when you're heading back to the wheel, you start thinking about it like, no, I could see how this kid could have missed it, but it's still better for him to understand that he fucked up.
Yeah. It wasn't like mean about it. Maybe a little
No.
bit condescending, but it was like, it is what it is.
I mean, that's just how it is when you're in a paramilitary chain.
Yeah.
You're not military anymore. And,
Ex-military.
no,
And the way I see it, that's why Grover's here. He's
Yeah.
the experienced set of eyes to supervise.
Yep. No. You guys qualify as paramilitary with the armory you have on the ship.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Like, if you guys decided to kill Hendrix, you all could just become pirates on this one ship.
Mm,
No, you could. No, you could.
we could.
You have enough firepower to do it. That's what I'm saying. You could. I'm not saying you will.
No.
Not saying it would end well either.
you last night.
I mean, for the sake of it, becoming pirates is basically like whoever gets the guns first is gonna be like, all right, so who's joining the pirate side and who's getting shot? All right, that's not what's happening. That's not the story I've planned. Not even close. Don't worry about it.
But it could be.
That's true. If the PCs decide to do it, then I'll be like, I guess that's what we're doing now.
I guess I'm gonna be dealing with some panicking, huh?
Maybe we're gonna see how bad it gets. Because, yep, next week we will actually be getting into. Well, maybe. Might get into some
Choppy
roles.
waters.
Well, that's definitely gonna happen. But it's how bad do things get on the ship? We'll find out.
On next time on KKWX, KarsaKKWx, with Nexus Roundtable. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful day and goodbye.